a conditional random field is an extension of that that can take information from any part of the sentence and use it to compute information about the word that you're interested in. Now, I'm going to give you a complete example. You didn't have to understand any of what I just said, because I will give you an example of Python code doing it. So, the tool that I use is called PyCRF Suite. So, a week ago I went and I said sudo pip3 install PyCRF Suite. I'm not going to do it again because it might be, well, maybe I can.
Could you make your text a little bigger, sorry?
Sorry?
Could you make your text a little bigger?
Yeah, I probably could. Edit. Profile preferences. Let's try 10, 11, 12.
Sure.
12 good enough? Maybe even bigger. There's some people in the back. There. So let me just run this code here. I'm just going to run it, and I'm going to show you what it does. So the labels, going back here, I've taken all these and I separate them into brand, style, model number, and what it is, most importantly. And my code here, I could have done, initially I was going to do like some kind of HTML interface, like just highlight things, but I found it easier to type them. So that's what I did. I can copy and paste or whatever I want there. So the Python code that I have is going to take this description, and it's going to take these words and label each one of these words with like brand or model number, and it'll label the Blu-ray burner with the word what, literally the word what. So I'm going to run that, and I'm going to show you a bit of a demo. I'm going to run it on that exact file that I showed you. Then it does this. I'm going to have to turn the speed up a notch because it does take a while. This is a 32 gigabyte memory laptop that I just bought for this purpose. Speed, let's go to 2.8 gigahertz. You can see it speeds up a little bit. It does take a while. I'm going to show you what is going by, because I previously typed it through.
Is it possible it's actually spending most of its time just dumping to the console? I mean, it looks like it's right into the terminals quickly.
That is possible, but I don't care because my laptop is pretty fast.
But it has a terrible keyboard.
Yes. So this is what it's dumping out. So basically each of these is a product listing, and they're separated by blank lines. And you can see the word here, 10 karat, white gold, created emerald, rectangular gemstone baby ring, soft dash, size 3. And from my hand-labeled description, it's generated a whole bunch of features. So I have a function in Python that I'm going to show you that goes through each word and it makes these features. And the format of them doesn't really matter to use the tool that I called CRF Suite. It just matters whether they're there or not. I don't know how it works, but you can make these look like whatever you want, and each of them is a feature. Maybe it hashes them to some number, which is if they're present or not. So I have all these things like next dict. This means the next word exists in the Unix dictionary. Prevdict, false. You can see here that the previous word was 10, and that does not exist in the dictionary, so it's false. All these features. Let's go back and see what it output. Unfortunately, it's hard to read because I reduced the text size for you guys. This is called the confusion matrix. So it has here all the labels, like for, what, material, measurement, brand, and it says here's what it actually is, and here's what it thought it is along the columns. And ideally, it would be like all of them would be along the diagonal. So it labeled them exactly what it was. But some of them are not. And you can't see that because it's scrolled into like 160 columns, and you can only see a few of them. But from that, we can calculate something called the F1 score, which is how diagonal is the matrix. And it got 84%. So 84% of the, kind of like 84%. It's an F1 score, not a percent, but about 80% of them it got correct.
I say average correct 0.4%.
0.8, it says.
0.8.
That is a typo. I'll show you where it prints that. It's probably not multiplying it by 100. Something like that.
So like that sounds like a terrible.
Yeah.
Look at my wonderful algorithm, 0.8% correct.
I will show you.
Where's the randomness?
So I can boost the correctness.
Yeah, that's
The
right.
thing about conditional random fields, as opposed to other learning methods for sequences, is that you can just throw features at it. So this is the function that takes a word and it creates that list of features for every word. It says, well, what distance is it from the start of the listing? Because usually the first thing is the brand. And the last thing might be like the color, silver. Is it all uppercase? Is it title case? Because that makes a difference. And I'm going to add some other features here and see if I can boost that. I know I can, because I did this previously. I thought I was going to type this interactively, but I've given up on this keyboard.
But it is a sequence.
Yes. Why can't I copy and paste? Because I don't know where my shift key is. So we're going to add in these 3 local features. So all of those features here are like based on the current word, the next word, and the previous word. So I'm going to add in these things are like, regardless of what the word number we're looking at, it's going to give you the first word of the sentence and say, that's a feature of the word. The length of the sentence. What punctuation exists in the sentence. Because a lot of book titles only have a colon, and they don't have like dashes and quotation marks and inches and feet and ampersands. So this will help it. I think this will help it a bit. So we're going to run that again. And it's going. It's at 2.8 gigahertz.
Turbo mode.
Turbo mode. It's actually getting quite warm and the fan is running. And that was it. When you saw that part go by, that was it training the conditional random field. See, that's quite fast.